California is reducing management bloat by combining departments. Henceforth, the California Highway Patrol and the Department of Fish and Wildlife will merge to become the Department of Fish and Chips. Hippopotamuses have very thick and tough skin, so how do wildlife veterinarians give them shots? They use hypodermic needles. Environmentalists are debating whether or not to remove a local beaver population. Leaving them would cause flooding, but removing them would affect wildlife. Damned if they do, damned if they don't. A turtle got mugged by a gang of snails. Detective Rabbit of the Wildlife Police came out to take his statement. He asked the turtle, "Can you give me a description of the assailants?" The turtle replied, "I don't know. It all happened so fast. I was gonna write a joke about wildlife in Africa, but it's not finished yet. This is just the rough giraffe. My new GPS has wildlife warnings. It said there was a bear on the left. I've made jam using minced lions, zebras, and elephants. It's a wildlife preserve. What government office is in charge of marine wildlife health? Sturgeon General. The local marine wildlife observing events on the seafloor seem to have expensive tastes. Who else can afford to eat Five Guys? Trump isn't known for protecting wildlife in general, but I heard he'll do something about the illegals. While on safari, we spotted an albino cheetah. It's the least we could do for the poor guy. I just want a free ticket to go on an African safari. Can you believe it? I just started my African grasslands tour. Safari, so good. My local safari park is trying to pass off common caribou as African wildebeest. Fake news. I'm so poor, I can't go see the world. The best that I can do is visiting Amazon while on safari. Just went to a safari to see all the big cats. They were just lying around. I saw a big animal during the safari. I think it was an elephant. But what do I know? I bagged a bobcat while on safari, but my taxidermist made a huge mistake. Yet another in a series of related cat-ass trophies. Buddy of mine just showed me pics from his trip to the Serengeti. It was a good trip, safaris I can see. I went to a safari park and a rhino tried to charge me. I showed him my ticket, but he didn't listen. You have to be an internet explorer to go on a safari. Why was the safari tour stuck in the savannah? There was a giraffe IC jam. What would you call a self-driving semi-aquatic vehicle used for African safari tours? Hippopotamus. I went on a safari last summer and it was so great I woke up one morning and shot an elephant in my pajamas. How an elephant got in my pajamas I have no idea. Why shouldn't you play board games on safari? Because there are always cheetahs. Did you hear about the family that went on a safari? They saw a giraffe and a meerkat. That's about the long and short of it. Dad certified. In a safari, people are in no danger of lion attack because lions thinks the humans and the car are one object. So what happens on Chrome? Hang in there for more laughs and groans after this quick announcement. What do you call a polar bear in the jungle? Lost. I was walking in the jungle and I saw this lizard on his hind legs telling some brilliant jokes. I turned to a local tribesman and said that lizard's really funny. He said that's not a lizard. He's a stand-up chameleon. I hear the Jungle Book is getting a remastered release. It'll be released on Blu-ray. What is the rudest animal in the jungle? The hippopotamus. What do you call a jungle animal that can't keep a beat? A deaf leopard. Where do gorillas work out? The jungle gym. Do you know how badass lions are? They became kings of the jungle without even living there. How do you get into a church in the middle of the jungle? With monkeys. I spent weeks in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. When I walked back into civilization, there were certainly a few butterflies in my stomach. Why is doing math in the jungle dangerous? Because if you add 4 and 4 you get 8. Jane asked Tarzan if it was okay if she swung with him through the jungle. Fine by me, he replied. What did the parrot say to the jungle bird who pranked him? Two can play at that game. I guess people are just going crazy about the exterior of that new cargo ship that was named for the bear from the Jungle Book. Personally, I'm tired of the hullabaloo. Why did the king of the jungle die? Because he couldn't Mufasa. If you get lost in the Canadian wilderness, don't panic unless you see at least one grizzly. That's the bare minimum. What do wilderness survival experts use to cook their burgers? Bear Grylls. What should you do if you run out of toilet paper in the wilderness? Take a leaf out of Bear Grylls' book. What type of body spray is useful to have when you're in the wilderness? Axe. How does a crazy person find their way out of the wilderness? They just take the Pisco path. Last night, someone broke into my home and took a dozen eggs, but they left a saucepan filled with warm water. Police believe it was poachers. I think poachers are the worst people on the planet. Unless they are amazing at cooking food delicately and liquid. Then my opinion of them is the complete opposite. The egg population is rapidly declining. Be sure to watch out for egg poachers. The guy who cooks eggs at my local cafe gave me some great tips on storing pheasant and rabbit meat. A poacher is the best gamekeeper after all. Researchers hit upon a new way to catch poachers of elephants and rhinos. They look for very large pots. Did you hear about the hippie who loved nature so much he married a river? Mrs. Hippie. Thanks to conservation efforts, 9 out of 14 humpback populations are no longer endangered. I guess you could say they're doing pretty well. Norway has conservation officers that patrol the narrow inlets between mountains. They are called fjord rangers. There's a benefit concert for dolphin conservation at the camping grounds. It's for all intents and purposes. Why did the conservative congressman put on his grizzly hands? Because he has the right to bear arms. I'm Montgomery Jones. We're on a mission to spread the laughs and groans far and wide, so please do us a favor and share just one of these jokes with your family and friends today. Thanks. Looking for more dad joke humor to share? Then subscribe to our new weekly email newsletter. It's our weekly roundup of the best dad jokes, memes, and humor for you to enjoy. Spread the laughs and groans and sign up today. Check the sign-up link in the show notes page or visit dailydadjokespodcast.com. The Daily Dad Jokes Podcast is produced by Classic Studios. See the show notes page for social media links and joke credits. This show was recorded in front of a canned studio audience.